thank you very much. Look, how can you follow that? Massive respect to you, former Prime Minister. But yeah, an honour to be here. Day 2 for me as well. And although we're talking about a Nordic Initiative, we have good friends from Southern Europe as well. Artemi from Spain and Irene from Cyprus. Look, I'm an elected MP, so I just wanted to, I mean, I can never follow that, maybe give some reflections from what it's like as someone who represents 75,000 people and the salience of the issue. I mean, I asked my office to run the figures. What do we get emailed about? This is a word cloud. Gaza is by far the biggest thing the whole year of 2025, and even the secondary ones, Freedom Flotilla, they're all Gaza-related things because, so I think the profound impact this has had on our domestic politics here, nobody could have foreseen. And like Johan, I did a trip. I served alongside Tasmina, she's a good friend of mine when we were MPs together. 2017, you were still there in those days. And it was an eye-opener. There was no war, and we were in Ramallah, the nice bit of the West Bank. But still, some of the things we never hear about in this country, the home destructions, Palestinian people peacefully living in their own home, then the bulldozers come in and they get given the bill. Their whole life has been, you never hear about that here. The child detentions, children who in the dead of the night are taken away, turned upside down, put in a van, in the back of a van where they can't see what's going on, tried in a language they do not understand, with charges not communicated to them or translated. I mean, those kind of things, the black water tanks you described, didn't you? When we were being driven around, and it was Christians who showed us everything. So again, it's a misnomer that it's a sort of Jewish-Muslim thing. I mean, I represent 2 mosques in my seat and 2 synagogues as well, so I'm always talking to my 2 rabbis. And it is possible to have 2 thoughts in your head at once. So we can all condemn the barbaric October the 7th, I mean, the way they did that. But at the same time, the stuff that's happened since, I mean, you said, former Prime Minister, about the fact that international law is being completely undermined. You know, the bombing of hospitals, we have managed to normalise that. The bombing of refugee camps, and the black water tanks. We were told by the Christians taking us round that these are people who've had to buy on the black market plastic water tanks because they have no water supply, and they've got holes in them because the settlers shoot them. That stuff I will never forget. I will take all these memories to the grave. And that was when there was no war. That was in the West Bank. And that was largely Ramallah. We went to Hebron, Shahuda Street, the passage of shops where there's netting above, that acid is thrown down to people there. The mayor of Hebron can't even go in his own town centre. The mayor of Ramallah, you know, it was really eye-opening and shocking. And as you said, Christine, Baroness Blower, when I got back, I was just hugging my own son, saying, wow, by accident of birth, you've grown up here as a child of privileged people. You could have been gone there. You could have grown up there. The UN schools that were closed down. So many things that they never tell you. And, okay, so then since October the 7th and then the subsequent war, it has become, for any British MP, the thing we're contacted about most. As you said, former Prime Minister, it's not left and right. It's right and wrong. And there are many good friends on the other side of the house who support our cause as well. And I remember when I was leaving that time, I was strip searched at Ben Gurion Airport. You know, I was already 40-something years old and a respected member of Parliament. But the humiliation of an 18-year-old settler kid with a machine gun twirling it round at me, saying, that way for you. I mean, I have an Arabic surname, Huq. I'm, a Muslim Bangladeshi. So look, I don't want to take up time, but as I say, every aspect of this has affected, and I was an academic in a former life, and I'm writing an article for an academic journal, it's coming out later this year, on the 2024 election and the Asian vote. So people like myself, like Tasmina, although the word Asian in other countries means people from China and Japan, in this country it's the ex-British colonial India, it has affected. Traditionally, we were seen as loyally, tribally, always going to vote Labour. Maybe in Scotland, there's other options. But we've gone from a 2-party duopoly. I won my seat from a Conservative when I first came. And again, Rosie Winterton was my chief whip. I had to cut out to her a lot. So it's great to be on the level with her now and not to... Anyway, the point is... of equal status there. But the point is, I think that this has fractured our politics. We've gone from a two-party system to possibly five-party, if you're with the nationalists, even more. And it is the backbench pressure of people like me, the little people in Parliament, that has made the recognition of Palestine happen. That wasn't, do you know what I mean? It was pressure. We did a letter, people like Baroness Blower. And so, as I said, there's so many dimensions to this. The word tag is what we get emailed. Palestine Action, hunger strikes, 37 aid agencies being banned. I mean, in what world is that a normal thing? So look, massive respect to you. And as I say, I got out of there. The subtext when I was being strip searched in that airport, I kept saying, hang on, we've got our plane to catch. And I must say, there was another grouping who'd gone at the guests of the Israeli government. They were waved through. They were bringing all sorts of strange objects through the customs. And so for them, it was easy. For us, we went with Martin Linton. People might remember he was an MP here. His heart is really in the right place on this issue. And it was Christians. Christians are oppressed. The oldest church in Christendom has been bombed to smithereens. As a constituency MP, every Friday, people come through the door with their issues. A guy, Omar, who's from Ramallah himself, came and showed me at the beginning of this war, this is my wedding, this is my graduation, and all the buildings in the pictures had been destroyed. And that was in 2023, early on. I mean, how long has this gone on? When is a ceasefire not a ceasefire? You know, we comfort ourselves that there's a ceasefire, but there's a lot of violations going on. So yeah, the subtext was, I kept saying we've got a plane, and at the end, after all this rigmarole, we're in a different part of the airport. She showed me to the steps of the plane and said, there's your plane. And the subtext was, don't effing ever come back. And I never have. I've been offered that trip. And I've just thought, I don't want that again. And my colleagues, 3 of them in the last 6 months, have been turned away because what they've said. So I don't even know if I'd be allowed back in now. But it is our duty to use our voice and every breath in our body to expose this horror. I mean, I feel I was born in the 70s. If you think of it, the Cold War, Northern Ireland, South Africa, all these intractable problems sorted. This one hasn't. And it's disturbing and troubling to me, but I will fight with every breath in my body till it is. And massive respect to you, because I could never follow a speech like that. So thank you. I've got a school party waiting for me. Actually, 20 past. I've got 7 minutes. My thing keeps flashing up that there's a school who's come from my district in West London. So yes, West London is behind you. Thank you.
Thank you.